Yeah, well, I'm a bright yellow and black car, so you can't miss
Sorry,
it.
mate, I didn't catch that.
No, I definitely can't miss that.
It has stickers on the side.
All right, we are
expect.
live. I don't know.
Just don't be a crash test dummy, man.
Just gonna be tuning in, but if this is your first time, welcome to a Sunday night Skippy race. And we'll try to talk you through everything. I'm a newbie as well, so I'm just learning the cars and the tracks myself. But it's a lot of fun. You can get on the chat there. And actually, Megan, my wife, is right here as well. She'll
Surprise!
be joining. So we'll see if this will be her first shot at this as well. We'll be able to ask her questions, or we'll be chatting our way through the race. I'm not going to be contending here for the lead, so I figure if anybody's watching, just out of curiosity, we'll try to walk through the iRacing or just skip Barber in general.
We have more than 20 people.
And yeah, show you what it's all about and what I like to do on Sunday nights, Tuesday nights as well, other nights.
And other nights. Not bitter over here.
Man. Let's do a quick.
Hey Jason, that's a nice paint skin.
You talk again?
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys, if you guys
We're
can
good?
stop, I'll go ahead and start the meeting.
Got
Just to cover a couple things here. Give you guys a second.
So he's going to be doing a driver's meeting, and it just goes over the rules again.
All right, welcome. Just a few housekeeping things on here. Make sure your spotter is on and working. Make sure you can hear your spotter telling people are next to you. In qualifying, let's not race each other in qualifying. If you're on an outlap, you need to let the faster cars pass. Just like in the race, the blue flags are instructional. In qualifying on an outlap, pay attention to the faster traffic and let them pass without impeding them. Be careful, especially if you're only 2 or 3 laps out, there is a significant speed difference there. Passing, going into braking zones, if you do not have significant overlap before you hit that braking zone and you don't get it until you're in the braking zone, it might be too late for that spotter to let your person you're trying to overtake know. So you're putting yourself and that other person at a serious jeopardy of getting in an incident. You're also potentially dive bombing on that as well. So just be careful about that. This is a longer race than our normal races during the week. You have time to make it back up. You can learn what your person is doing in front of you and get a pass, when it makes more sense. That kind of leads into the next thing, no blocking. Watch what appeared to be some major blocking. If you watch that F1 race, I picked up, it looked like Nico Hulkenberg was weaving back and forth to block down a straight. He was not trying to break draft. He was just swerving back and forth. So, you can make a move and you can take your line, but don't be moving back and forth to block people. Typically on this track, you're going to see people, they'll try to either, break the draft in the straights, or if they're getting into that break zone at the end, please realize everyone takes a little bit different line going into like 1 and 5 or 2 of the critical. Some people do a late apex, some people do an early turn in. Be careful with that. You might think that they've left the door open for you, and they may have, but they might be, crashing down on you and not know until the last second what's going on. So just be careful. There's a lot of laps on here. It's your responsibility to pass safely. It's your responsibility as everyone, wants to finish this race. Don't put yourself in jeopardy or the car in front of you. The race is 40 minutes long. You've got a lot of time. Minimize voice comms during the race. Let's leave them open for those that are coordinating for passing. Don't berate or blame someone else in a race for an incident that occurs. If you have an incident and you want to protest that, let us know. Just report it to the stewards. that, hey, there's an incident I want you to take a look at. We typically try to go through and look at any contact incidents at all, anyways. So even if you don't report it, there's a chance we're going to go and catch it. But if you do report it, it just makes it that much easier for us to look at. The race is 40 minutes long. It will require a refuel, and you do have a limited capacity of 51% fuel on there. Jason, got anything to add?
No, I think that hits it.
All right, perfect. Ian, you got anything?
It looks like we might not have him yet.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. Any questions, anyone, right before we start this qualifying? All right, with open qualifying, you definitely have the draft you got to kind of work with. Like I said, work with other folks. Don't race people. Don't get too aggressive in here. You get the next lap, try it on the next lap. You need to make your space for it. And the biggest thing is just don't impede anyone on your out laps, I'll say, because it's not really your first lap. It's probably your first 2 or 3. Just be careful and make sure you give the person room to pass.
Okay, well, if you're just joining us, that was the drivers' meeting. The little admins kind of lay down the ground rules, some reminders.
That's the end of the session. B19.
What have you. If you're just joining us, we do open qualifying for the Skip Barbers here. I'm fairly new. This is only my second race with these guys in this car, so I'll try to talk. If you're just out of morbid curiosity, I'll try to talk you through what I know, which isn't a ton, but talk about Skip Barber, iRacing, all that stuff. Megan is here as well on the microphone.
Oh, is that my cue?
Yeah, that's your cue.
Okay.
You're good.
All right.
So the open qualifying is a little different. It's everybody coming out here all at once. So the benefit of that is if you can get with somebody, you can kind of use that draft to up your qualifying times as opposed to the solo qualifying efforts that you're probably used to seeing, especially if you're in a NASCAR.
How long do we qualify for?
It's a 15-minute qualifying session, and what he was saying in the drivers' meeting is to make sure that you're not messing up the people around you, because while the good part is you can kind of use the draft and work together, but at the same point you may end up with somebody who's much faster than you behind you, and you don't want to mess them up either.
So how do you know the difference between somebody that's using you to draft and trying to get you out of the way?
Well, that's not always easy. Typically they'll come on the voice comms and say, hey, I'm on a hot lap. So there's out laps, which is anything that's like where you're getting the tires warmed up, and because these tires take about 8 or so laps, I would say, to get real optimal. But your first couple laps, it's real slick. It's almost like driving on ice to some extent. So then after that, you can use the voice comms to let them know that you're in a hot lap if you're coming up on them, or vice versa. And woo. So as we're doing this, we're at Barcelona, Catalunya, and I think it's the national configuration. So these Skip Barber cars are kind of used for training. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and drive at the same time. They're used for kind of training. They're a little underpowered compared to, like Indy cars, Formula One, and all that. It's definitely where a lot of people cut their teeth. But there's also some pretty good competition. People just kind of also just race Skip Barber cars because they're fun, and I'd say easier to drive, but you see me running over curbs, so.
And I can feel it too.
My bad.
I'm really not trying to qualify too high because I know that I'm gonna be toward the back anyway.
Sorry, Richie, that was on me.
Looks like a crowded night today.
Yeah.
Like about 20 of you.
Yeah, it's pretty good for this league.
Boris, take me on the inside.
Ooh, Jason taking out cones behind me there. Yeehaw. To some extent, that's what you're trying to avoid there.
Sorry about that, Oliver. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Thank God it's virtual.
And let's see. I know there's a lot of stuff on the screen right there. Might be tough to follow. Probably not what you're used to seeing, but actually, I'm trying to get rid of this. Oh, guess I can't. There we go.
You're on a hot lap, James. No, I'm.
I'd say the
just
things that
warming
I
my tires
normally
still.
pay attention to, actually your view,
All right, I'm
top
just trying
box.
to make space. Yeah, me too. Don't worry about it.
Because the way that we were in the view, him actually riding race car, so unlike what we're used to seeing, maybe a NASCAR race, I think a lot more fun to actually ride along with the driver, but I also don't get the benefit of the entire race itself. So get a little bit more perspective. Also, box and see what's in.
And then all the other boxes on the bottom are just information.
Don't worry.
Trying not to jingle jangle, but it's gonna happen.
Oof.
It's not the dog, it's the vodka.
I had some coffee because I knew I was going to be racing for 40 minutes, and it's
But
really
I'm not
tough.
driving, and who watches racing without drinking?
Man.
Oh crap, I've got no force feedback at all on my steering.
That's not ideal. I think that was Ian, sounded like Ian. I didn't catch the name. Oh no.
Oh, this is horrible.
I gotta.
I think I'm gonna have to reboot my PC.
Poor Ian's having some issues.
Oh no.
So, once again, if you're just joining us right now, we're doing open qualifying for the race. And looks like I'm currently in the 15th position, so not great, but we anticipated that. And let's see what else. I'm just kind of going over the basics of iRacing. So on the bottom, on the far left there, you'll see the fuel calculator. That kind of just gives me some information. They do force a fuel stop on this league by limiting our initial fuel quantity. So you will see a pit stop here this evening. It's a 40-minute race, and the next box over to the right there is just the standings. The A and the B and the C and all the colors, that's what's your safety rating. Those are just kind of class licenses that let you race in the next class up. A being the highest, all the way down to D, and then you start at rookie, but I don't think there's any rookies in here.
And that's a good point for those that are new to iRacing. I think the safety feature is something that's different, obviously, than what you're used to watching pros. So safety ratings are kind of the way that the league, or iRacing in general, kind of structures who can race with who. Is that right?
Yeah, so they're not going to put, you basically have to earn these licenses as you go by racing cleanly, and it's a no-fault system, so if you crash, even if it wasn't your fault, you still get kind of points against taken away from you, just because it would be impossible logistically to do it otherwise. So I think your dad was asking a question there.
Yep, he's asking how much more time in qualifying. So how do we know
so if you
what
look,
the time is?
There's a large box to the right of the steering wheel, and that'll show you, hello Jig, that'll show you on the bottom right corner of that box the session state and then how much time is left. So you'll see the qualify.
Looks like we're counting down at 5 minutes and 16 seconds. The 15-minute qualifier, it looks like, not 10, which is what we said earlier. Apologize.
Whoops.
And it looks like we've got about 5 minutes left in qualifying. So that'll give Chris some time to maybe reduce those bumps and climb up a few.
We'll see.
Hey, I don't see anybody up there. So
123.
The little ant in the distance. Maybe you can catch him.
Yeah. So that same box I was talking about to the right of the steering wheel there, that's your relative. So that's me highlighted in yellow, obviously, and then that's how many seconds of the 3 cars in front of me and the 3 cars behind me.
Looks like you got to gain 5 seconds. I'm reading that.
To get to the guy in front of me?
Yeah. Doesn't look like that. Unless those guys are slower.
Well, there's that 3.1. It looks like he may have slowed up for a reason or another.
Dad said thanks. Now I see it.
Yeah, I actually am just using a new layout myself, so I gotta get used to where all the information is too. Okay, 3 minutes left. I probably got one more lap in me, and then I'll just call it for that. See if I can't push it a little more.
While we're waiting, I see there you got a really neat scheme on your car.
Yeah.
How about you talk a little bit about what your car
Go for it, Bill.
Detailing is?
So this car is inspired by the 103rd, well, I should say the 118th Tactical Reconnaissance Squadron, which yada 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 became the 118th Airlift Squadron in the 103rd Airlift Wing, which is the guard unit I'm a part of, but we'll get a better look. It's harder to see now. You can kind of see the patch on the top, but it's an homage to the P-51 Ds, I believe, and so I'm rocking that tonight for the Flying Yankees.
Those are really cool. Do you do those yourself, or
No,
how do you? So
unfortunately, I had to get somebody else to do this for me. You can do it yourself, but I'm just not that artistic. So.
Right, you want to give a shout out to the guy that did it for you?
I'm trying to think of his name because that's my verbal stall tactic here. Don Craig.
Awesome.
He did. There's another famous Skippy, Skippy P51 scheme. I may call that a day there. Yeah, he did Double Trouble as another P51, so I reached out to him, and he said, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. Let's see if I can't find a
better view.
better view here.
There you go. Is that paint scheme on a plane of some sort?
I mean, they used it on a few of the planes back in the 118th Tactical Reconnaissance Squadron days. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. But I'll can throw up a picture at some point. But that is basically about as close as you're going to get on a Skip Barber card. What the P51 looked like. The Lightning Bolt is actually carried over today, and we have it on our C-130s, so I think that part's pretty cool. Sorry, we're getting some...
Okay then.
Checker flags out. P15.
P15. All right.
Dude,
Not
we're
terrible.
Still alive.
We're rocking it.
Yeah.
Checker flag was out. Sorry,
Better than I
thought
can
we were
do.
done.
I've actually tried. Not pretty.
If you cross before the flag,
And
you get one
I
more
think
lap.
that goes to show you.
Steven!
So,
that was
Chris and I have been kind of
cool.
talking about doing this a lot more,
Didn't know. Sorry,
broadcasting
Jason.
and
The flag was out
coming
before I
together,
crossed, so I thought we were
hanging
done.
out this way.
Sorry about that,
Everything
man. I
that's
never saw
going
you
on
coming.
currently.
Yeah, actually, I
Nice
didn't
time
know
for
you
us
could do one more
to,
lap if you
for me to
finished
get
before
to enjoy something that he enjoys, and
I apologize.
in a way, and I think that time,
My mistake.
kind of us being together a lot more
fine.
than we're normally used to.
This is accurate.
You know, it's
Yeah,
it's
so
a good
James
way
coming, I wanted
to
to get out of
learn a
his
lot
way,
more
'cause my
about your
lap is closed
spouse
anyway,
and
so.
definitely
Or significant
encourage
other.
or significant other. So I encourage anybody out there that has a spouse or significant other
appreciate it. Thanks.
to not just watch broadcasts together or show them this,
Yeah, I want to
but
screw
also
somebody else,
get them in and watching with you. Get them in the rig and have them enjoy it as much. Because I've really learned to really enjoy watching Chris, do what he loves doing.
Oh, that was very sweet.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm glad that you've shown an interest. This is pretty cool. And I think, with all this stuff and with the iRacing stuff earlier today, I think people kind of get it a little bit more, or at least a little curious about it. So I don't know if there's anybody who ends up joining. If you're new to the stream here, Megan's obviously here with me, and she'll be passing on any questions you guys have. Qualifying P15, I'm probably not going to be pushing for that number 1 position, so I'm going to use the time
Biggest Barber grid I don't think I've ever seen.
I was going to say extra brain bites to
Yeah, I think you're right.
chat. Sorry, I'm having a couple of buddies who are having issues seeing it. Oop.
Good luck.
That
Buena
sucks.
suerte.
Good luck, guys.
Viva Chile.
This might feel level
Check on the pose and
2.65.
look, everyone.
What does that mean?
I thought I was supposed to have more than that, but
Getting ready to go here?
Yeah.
Oh, 1 minute. We've got 1 minute. And we've got 40 minutes of race.
Well, I'll have to show those two guys it afterwards.
Have a great race, everyone. Remember, it's a long one. We have a pit stop. There'll be time to make up spaces and everything else. So, give proper distance and have a good race.
Yeah. So the old adage.
Dad says good luck.
Oh, thanks. We'll need it. The old adage: you can't win the race in turn one, but you can lose it. That's kind of what he was getting at there. Just give each other space. With a 40-minute race, it'll all work out. Where if you're faster, you'll have plenty of time to get ahead.
The track temp is 93 Fahrenheit. Okay, Chris, get ready. Green, green, green.
Some shifts.
Right side. Hold your line. Clear right.
Slick Coca-Cola car.
Right
Yep.
side. Clear right.
I guess you couldn't see the gaggle of cars in front of me. Sorry about that.
Being stuck here in the back too, you just got to be real cautious about your braking lines because everybody's going to be on something different.
Come on,
Ooh.
dude.
Nope.
On your right. Clear right.
Whoa,
Whoa,
was that a
was
tire?
a tire.
Right. Clear right. Far right. Hold your line.
Just
Come
go.
on, Forrest.
Still there. Car right. Clear
Oh,
right.
Carrington's car
Top of the
is
race,
pretty
Dad.
awesome too. Look at that.
Yeah, it's on point. Oh, jeez.
Oh wow. All right.
Fuck!
Sorry. This is definitely...
Sorry, man. Trying to get out of the way.
Hold your line.
Did you just seriously back up onto the racetrack?
Okay, this guy, just go ahead.
Guys, after the race, don't have that talk here.
E14.
There you go, Jason. Tempers flare.
What happened?
There's just some... With all those wrecks, people were not happy.
So just for
Asking
everybody.
each other if they were serious.
Oh. Everybody, I can't hear anything. I'm literally in silence watching Chris race right now, which is,
We haven't...
my zen place.
We figured out the idea to do this a little late in the game for a full audio solution, but...
Making it work.
Exactly.
Oh, that's why I'm asking. So I like the gossip. Ooh, oh, good job.
That was lucky.
Around that. Good job.
The gap behind is now 2.3.
Sometimes the key is just consistency and avoiding wrecks.
Yellow flag. Watch out.
Was that Pete? My brun? Oh, jeez. Yeah, see, I just talked about consistency. Yeah, that... Oh, no, wait. Was that him? That guy behind me.
I can't. Yeah, Pete.
He's one of the fastest guys in the league, so... the fact
Got
that
an
he's
A
behind,
rating, so.
the fact that he's behind me right now is not good for him. I don't think that's how he saw his evening going.
Yeah. The great thing about racing is every day you get to reset, right?
That's why they run the race.
You just never know. I mean, thinking back to that NASCAR race this morning,
Dude, I've never seen that before.
who would have ever thought Denny Hamlin would come out to win Collins?
I'm literally getting sick from the frame rates.
Pete's having computer issues, it sounds
Oh,
like.
no.
That's a shame.
I'll say I've never seen the car react like it is now.
And a part of this type of
Yeah,
activity. We saw it with Jimmy Johnson today too.
Guys,
So-
it's difficult to drive with all people on top, huh?
Something you gotta deal with.
sometimes it just be like that. So the numbers on the left-hand box there, where it says 11.9 and 2.5 for me now, well 13.6 and 2.2. Actually, what is that 13.6? I gotta pay attention here. Got a hairpin coming up.
Harrington's behind you.
Can't tell if he's, ooh boy, gaining or losing.
He's
Interesting. Well, I can't gain on Jeff either, so.
Ryan.
I'm not in good, and I know it in some of these corners. I tried to do some practice this week, obviously, but it just wasn't clicking. That's one of them, and then these turns up here. This one for sure, and then the chicane right here, the S.
Crap.
It's just tough to maximize your time through there.
Well, plus, I mean, I know I'm totally new to fair road racing in general. This entire, like,
Well, right, yeah.
all of this is new.
100% new, and I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a new challenge, and it kind of mixes it up. Not that I don't think I'll ever, not want to run NASCAR ovals, but it's definitely a change of pace. It's refreshing.
Right, Chris.
It is frustrating,
The
though.
refueling window will open after 16 minutes. Closes at about 28 minutes.
So this is the only other part that I don't really understand is the fueling. So I got the idea is the less fuel you have, the faster you are, because the better the car is handling. But at the same time, you don't want to run out of gas. So what do you do?
You're at 1.99.
Yeah. Let's see. Fuel at end. To me, that means I wouldn't have to do a pit stop, but I don't really understand what's happening. And I know I got a pit, so I'll just do that. And the idea, if you take less fuel, your pit stop's going to be shorter.
You're just trying to mull over when you're going to take that pit.
Yeah. And I know I don't necessarily want to fill up, but like I said, I'm using a different layout and information, so I don't really know.
Watched the guys last week, and you did a broadcast on last week. Check that one out. You didn't race in it, so it's a completely different feel, which is, I think, a nice one. More what you're used to when you watch broadcasts on television. So I noticed that they were pitting pretty early on. Kind of rare to what you...
Yeah, it's basically just a forced strategy to add a pit stop as kind of a necessary move. Ooh boy. Little loose through the S's. Carrington's definitely catching me.
Yes.
P11.
I'm okay with that.
Positive is you started in 15th and you're 11th.
That's true. Always looking at the bright side. Yeah, if I can just finish at, 15th, then I'll call that a win, to be honest with you.
He's coming.
Yeah, the trick is to not get caught looking in the rearview mirror.
There.
I would say. Do it.
All right. Hold your line. Clear right.
Shit, Chris. Come on, mate. Defend your position.
Oh no.
So,
Also don't want to get your tires in the grass.
Yeah. So while Chris also, isn't shooting for first, so he let Carrington pass him. It's also, I think, just a tribute to kind of the way that this works. Out of the other, that Chris is a code of conduct that occurs on the racetrack. That I think a really good one. Everyone's here. They've spent their hard-earned money to subscribe to iRacing. Really hard at it. They practice a lot, and all of them know that, important that everybody get the opportunity to race. Yeah. They race really hard, but they're also respectful.
Yeah, there was that squabbling back and forth earlier in the race was honestly the most I'd heard, I think, ever. Kind of surprising to hear, actually, but since you race the same guys every week, there's an accountability there to each other, and which you don't necessarily get just in the normal racing, because you could be racing complete random people each time. And when you have to come back and face the same folks, in 1 week, you really don't want to be caught being that person. So there's a premium placed on, good, clean, hard racing. But once you get down to a couple laps to go, all bets are off, of course. But
that's also because you're part of this league, right?
Right.
So
right.
The Sunday night Skippies, right?
Sunday night Skippy.
So they race Skip Barbers, assuming every Sunday night.
Exactly.
Look at that. And it's a league of about how many?
This is about what we get for the turnout, although there's probably, I think we signed up our 50th member the other day, so I think a couple more joined after that. But obviously schedules and everything, not everybody can make it each week. But yeah, if we fielded a full field, it would be over 50. Although I don't foresee that happening anytime soon.
So what makes kind of this league special or unique?
So what I like about it was kind of to your point. I mean, leagues are interesting in the sense that you can find the right one with a group of folks that are kind of like-minded. What I liked about these guys is you got a wide variety of skill levels, a very wide variety of skill levels. So you got beginners like me and the people who are behind me right now, or legitimately and didn't crash out behind me. But then you've got some of the guys who race with us are actually known in the iRacing world for how well they race the Skip Barber. They're like top of the heap. So they're really good about coaching and teaching and you know, there's really good racers, there's not so good racers, and there's people in between. So no matter your skill level, you're gonna have somebody to race against for the most part. Yeah, and they're just a good, you know, it's a good group of folks. I say guys, it is all guys at the moment, but I also Tuesday night will be racing the Xfinity cars. Not this group, but there's another league, Camping Universe. And so there's iRacing runs on a 12-week schedule, actually 13-week schedule. And
That's all of the leagues.
yes, yeah. So like iRacing in general is 13-week seasons, if you will. The 12 weeks they rotate once a week per track, so you get 12 different tracks per season, quote unquote. And then the 13th week is when they'll run all the software updates and do all that, and they run some fun runs and races and all that sort of thing. This league follows the official iRacing 12-week schedule. The Camping Universe does not. They're kind of on their own, doing their own thing. So we were at Charlotte last week, and we're going to be at Lucas Oil Raceway, which is a very short track, this week.
You're at 1.17 for the level.
Okay.
Don't fall asleep, Christian.
I don't
Crew
know.
chief is doing your job.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your job or not, but let you
Fuel
know.
to end.
Fuel to end is 1.22. Your fuel level is at 1. So in theory, you wouldn't have to pit. So not entirely sure what's up with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pit because I have to. But I will be booted from the league. Yeah.
So for those that don't know much about the Skip Barbers, what kind of cars are these?
Oh, man. Well, cars that I can't drive, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
So obviously they're open wheel, and they're kind of a training, I would say.
Right.
They're kind of like what
Skip Barber is a famous
introduction-
racing
Oh,
organization and a famous
and
racing
gentlemen.
coach. Yes.
And they do, I mean, people do legitimately just race, Skip Barber because it is a fun car, but it's, generally a little underpowered relative to other race cars. Kind of just what you use to learn racecraft, racing lines, without making huge mistakes.
I don't know. You're still going 119 miles an hour.
Well, I mean, it's
so-
still a race car.
Yeah.
But
Definitely still something I would not put Liam the same.
right.
I actually did ask whether or not they had kitty cars or something for him to get into, but I guess iRacing hasn't picked up on that.
They do not have go-karts.
Marketing. So shout out to iRacing. You should do that, especially if we're stuck quarantined for much longer. That'd be great.
Man, I cannot get that hairpin down tonight. I was doing fine earlier.
Got him back further behind you than you did. So.
That's good.
Hey, Rich, the front packer coming through if you haven't noticed.
Can't tell if those
Just
guys.
I was gonna say there's a fight in front of you, so the more that you can gain on them
Yeah, right.
while they're fighting each other, the better.
It's like you're...
that's the only negative about having this view is you can't see that fight in front of us. So the way I have to look at it is by looking at that box that says relative, and figuring out that Carrington, Steve, and Jeff are all bundled up in there, duking it out for 8th, 9th, and 10th place. So.
Whoa. That was bad.
Up on.
Yeah. And I lost some.
That was at 123.43. That's 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes. Okay, Chris, we're at the halfway
Right, 20
point.
minutes to go, halfway.
7 minutes of fuel remaining.
7 minutes of fuel remaining, my crew chief says. Oh, they.
Well, we've gotten through all of my talking points, so at this point, I don't know.
Well, I just have to.
I have to make stuff up. So if there's anything that anybody wants to know out there, this would be your time to ask.
Sorry, bud.
You know what I didn't ask you? Oh, Carrington, no.
Hello.
You know what I didn't ask was kind of how you got started in iRacing.
How I got started in iRacing. That was. That's actually a really great question. I don't even remember
I
how
come up with these all by myself.
I don't know how I remember or how I heard about it.
All I remember is I got a text message with a screenshot of somebody's old rig they were trying to sell you for a ridiculous amount of money, and now we have this is now edition number 2 to our house. This is our second rig.
Accurate.
And it is, definitely. The other one was the ugly stepsister of this one, for sure. It's a pretty sweet setup. We actually saw the same setup on one of the pros today. I can't remember which
Alex
one.
Bowman.
Alex Bowman,
He's
that's
got the
right.
same setup.
So.
There you go. I should be as fast as Alex Bowman.
But you're not.
I'm not.
So I actually don't even remember where you got started in iRacing either.
I remember hearing about it, not thinking much of it. But once you actually start racing it and you realize
You've been
just
doing
kind
it
of
for
how,
about two years now, I'd say.
Yeah, a year and a half.
The guy behind's really new in.
I was actually just looking at that, August 2018. At some point I gotta...
So you've raced Skip Barbers, you've done Xfinity, you do the trucks.
Oh jeez.
Careful.
Did not even see him.
I don't know why people say it careful. Like... Star.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. The sentiment.
On your left.
Whoa.
Left side.
Hey, Kate, we need kind
Clear
of
left.
want to work together and we'll gap up.
Car left. Clear left.
I'm gonna have to go.
I was gonna say, you're gonna have to pit here soon. Fuel at end, you need a 1.21, and you're at point. Chris is heading. Fuel?
Pit lane speed limit
I need
is
what?
50 miles per hour.
Did you stop listening to me? Are you talking?
Kinda. Well, I'm trying to do both. 1.21. All right, we'll just do 2.1 because that's about as specific as I seem to be able to make it.
Oh, so you can actually input how much you need. Interesting.
Ian behind is pitting.
That was way more than you needed.
Sorry. I'm not. Definitely did not practice this part of it.
Car approaching. Don't cross the white line. Watch your mirrors. It's a new fastest lap for James on 21.18.
Great. Now I got the leaders breathing down my neck, so I'm gonna have to let them go.
You're in 10th. We're sitting in P10 right now.
How is that possible?
Okay,
I don't know.
15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes.
Probably because you're just racing, talking to me, and not really thinking about it. Opposed to stressing.
Oh, yeah. Nobody ever accused me of thinking about it. That's for sure.
That's true.
Blue flag.
Yeah, I know.
Is your crew chief yelling at you?
Yeah, see that blue and yellow flag? That's basically let these guys by, please.
Oh, got it.
Do that at the next straightaway for sure.
Blue flag.
Nope, they're going to pit now. Never mind.
There's a car exiting the pits. The leader, Perez, is pitting. Nice and smooth with that throttle. Keep it balanced. Feet full.
Alright, so
The car behind's pitted now.
dropped to 14th. Not entirely sure how that happened either.
Yeah, can't win them all.
So I've watched some of these iRacing videos before, and I've wondered myself whether or not the steering wheel that you see is actually the steering wheel and made by the driver, and I can attest to the fact that I'm sitting right behind him, and that's exactly what's happening. So definitely a lot more realistic than even before I started actually sitting here and watching him race himself. A lot more than a lot of people really understand.
That one was alright. If I could do that every time, I'd be happy. Alright. Well, Jason's faster than I am.
You've gained one. You're now in 13.
Alright. Yikes. Whoa. Going off-roading.
You're literally shaking the entire rig right now.
Okay, Chris, there's a car exiting the pits. Heads up.
Car exiting the pits. Heads up. Alright.
The gap behind has now decreased to 3.9 seconds.
Yeehaw. Let's do this. Yikes. Jason's gaining on me like a... Can't quite get that hairpin right.
All right, y'all come left.
Okay, Chris, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
Oh, man.
Feeling
I'm
okay?
sweating, yeah.
I was gonna
Sorry,
say.
I got a little,
I just let him do his thing for a little bit. I want to interrupt the flow.
I'm feeling the straight guy. Come on by, come on by.
Is that Riley saying something there?
Yep, he says IMSA is horrifying.
I haven't tried it. I wonder if he's talking about the pilot challenge. So there's a new GT4 Porsche.
Yeah.
And it's all the rage, but with all this spike in iRacing.
Oh, by newbies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so is he just getting wrecked out by immature newbies of...
The spike in, it's good for iRacing, but oh my goodness, it's a bit of a bloodbath in a lot of the series right now.
Alright, Chris, that's good consistency. Keep it up.
Well, you two were a newbie.
Oh jeez.
Gotta let everybody get their feet under them.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
I mean, I'm still a newbie in a lot of regards. So. But that's why I like the league racing is
Sail on by, sail on by.
the
Thank
like
you.
I said, the accountability again, and people willing to help you learn and all that. So overall, pretty sweet. Should be taking bets on how many laps it's gonna take Jason to pass me here. Oh no! 0 laps if I keep running that.
But you held on. All that counts.
P13.
Hey, Valley.
I mean, so that's been my hardest thing when I've gotten into the car is not overcorrecting. Kind of have to let the car do what the car wants to do a little bit. Something type A control freak like myself won't have it. So balance and watching just that in real time is kind of...
Right side.
You're getting bad.
Oh yeah.
Hold your line. Clear right.
He's faster than I am, and I
I'm
know.
coming inside, Rich.
Come on, stick with the bastard.
Stick with him.
Got a cool paint.
Yes.
Let's see that one. Get closer to him.
I'm doing my best.
Goal.
Yeah, he's as soon as you say that. he just,
I was trying.
he
I was
hit the
giving you
afterburner.
motivation.
Oh, what happened there?
Asen, come back.
Yeah,
14th.
he gone.
Keep it together. Come on. The race isn't over yet.
So now my goal is to keep Dockery behind me, 9.7 seconds.
Right.
I think that's doable.
Like we've got about a little over 5 minutes to
The
go.
gap has increased. It's now about 1.6 seconds.
So as long as I don't wreck, I should come home with a 14. I'll take it, honestly.
Okay, Chris. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes left.
Oh, yeah. It's if I don't wreck.
So I know you're not watching it right now, but I'm intrigued by the fact that the number one racing car right now got a C rating, which probably means newer to the.
But he also had was so the 5,000 there is the more telling number.
Okay.
So the safety rating is the C class, so that's how many incidents you have.
Oh, so that's not good.
No,
Not good
Well,
number.
yeah, it's not bad. It's not good. Road racing, it's easier to get incidents because you also get them for going off the track, which sometimes you do have to do to get those like really, really hot laps.
Okay. So just going off the track gives you an incident.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to know.
And that 5,000 though, that's the number. That's a
What is that telling
really
me?
good I rating.
What is that telling me though? 5,000 what?
So that is you gain or lose points every race that you do.
And how many do you start with?
1250, I think. Okay. And it's all relative to the other drivers' I ratings. So, you know, if you don't lose a ton of I rating if you're in a race with a bunch of people who are much better than you. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So there's not like a set number of points that you get from a win or a loss or a 10th place position or oops, whatever. But yeah, so like I have 900 I rating because I'm terrible at the road.
Okay.
But he's got 5,000.
It's different for the different league. So that's not your
So
rating.
you get road, yeah, you have it
Xfinity or
for
whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. And is that also your safety rating only on the road too?
There's 4 different I ratings and safety ratings you have. There's road. I'm sorry. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to talk through it. There's like asphalt road and oval, and then dirt road and dirt oval. So any of the ones that I have always been running.
Don't worry, Christian. Edwin, when y'all get here, I'll just pull over to the side and stop.
Has been in the, like the.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Gap in front has increased
Oval
to
series
1.7
there.
seconds. That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
2 minutes left. Can I hold off? Yeah, you've got 11 seconds on him. I think I'll be alright. Trying.
I was gonna wait to the front. Copy that.
P14.
P14. So the way, and this was new to me too, the way timed races work is the time runs out. And basically...
Come on past, my friend.
Thank you.
It's all based on a leader.
You could have had a bit more toe than that, you know.
Leader asks, or not the leader asks, the leader sets the last lap basically based on that time. So if there's a minute left, this actually might be. Oh boy. I really need to stop trying to talk and drive at the same time. This is tougher than I thought, if I'm being honest. So we'll see, this may end up being the last lap.
So the leader sets it.
Yeah.
So is it when they cross the finish line?
So it's always going to end
done?
at the finish line. It's not like at, 40 minutes the race is over necessarily, but say he crosses, oh yeah, so this is the last lap. So if he crossed it at 39 minutes and 50 seconds, that would mean there's one lap to go.
Got it.
White flag, one more to go.
So he clearly...
2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So the leader finished, and I'm just starting my last lap.
Okay, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And you're finishing better than you started, so
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
I gain a spot. Ooh. Not if I...
Focus, please.
That is the end of the race, right?
Allegedly.
Yeah, there's still people racing, so give them a minute or two.
Well, there's still a minute in front of the clock is the reason I was asking.
No, I think it's done by the number of laps. I think there's still some people racing, which is why you still see the clock running.
Well, I also just have to say, like, so iRacing for our family has also been a fun addition. Our families are spread all over the country, and this has been a fun way to get them.
Alright guys, I gotta apologize to everybody I
See
took
that
off there in the first
we're
lap
still
on the
alive and
next
kicking
race.
and doing well.
No excuses.
Be able to
Shouldn't
listen
happen.
to our voices, and so that's
Dude, sorry for
inspiration for
tapping you,
anybody
man. I
else
feel
out
bad.
there that wants to try doing similar. I definitely suggested for
I
for
tapped
just
somebody
that
as
too.
well, so I do apologize to them.
Good times.
Good job, baby.
I didn't do my best.
Well, that was
I apologize on my backwards into the
that was
track.
fun for a road race.
That was
Be trying
completely
my best Tuesday. Oh, look at that. Finished on the lead lap at least. That's good.
You know,
take
when
it.
the blood is up and the race is in your eyes.
Tuesday night, race some Xfinity for the Oval fans out there. Sorry, I wasn't racing really near anybody. Wasn't terribly exciting, but
Lap one, sorry.
Okay, you got assaulted by a tire at the
It-
beginning
you
there,
know,
so
I-
it started out exciting.
dodging tires, I'll take it. I will take it for sure. All right, well, yeah.
Oh, and let us know whether or not you like hearing both of us.
Yeah.
Because we're dabbling with the idea of actually broadcasting both of us together.
That's
so.
right. Next Sunday we'll do a broadcast style. It won't be
I'm not
racing.
entirely
It'll
sure
look
how
like
we
it
managed
looks
to
like
go
on the
3 wide in
television,
turn one, and
or at least
not
that's the
that
theory.
confident,
So, if you're interested in that sort of thing,
Well, they
There
were
you go.
stacked 3 wide,
All right.
2 deep. I thought they were going to wreck, so I kind of went through there easy and I got ran over.
good night, I guess.
Good night.
Stay safe.
It is what it is.